you're doing well. If you're watching this live with me, or if you're tuning in on this on the Monday, hope you had a good weekend. This week marks 10 weeks of the online classes. It's hard to believe that it has passed so quickly. I hope that you've been enjoying the classes. I just want to say a special thank you to everyone for tuning in to the classes. I hope you find them helpful through this time and that they've been serving you. Special thanks to anybody who's been in a position to support the classes through once-off donations or who have set up reoccurring Patreon donations. They've been greatly appreciated. They do make a tremendous difference and are by no means taken for granted, so thank you so much. If you're not in such a position to financially support the online classes, you can do so by sharing the group or telling a friend, or to be honest, just by you showing up is a fantastic support, and I hope that you find that the classes do continue to help you. If you have any feedback or suggestions, as always, please do let me know. They are always welcome. So this morning will be our Foundation Hatha class, a 45-minute practice, or beginner-friendly, beginner-accessible class. Now, there's a few challenges dotted throughout the practice, as always. Encourage you to mindfully apply. Challenges are always welcome, but coming step by step, no pressure or force. Choose which is appropriate and best for you. Being in any seated position, where you can maintain a lifted spine. If a lying down position is better for you, please do adopt a lying down position. If you're seated, perhaps you adopt a mudra, your hand gesture. Any variation is welcomed. If you're lying down, readjust the body to where you feel like it's comfortable and held. We'll just take a moment to really land into our eye. No matter where you are, eyes closed and a mouth closed. As you work towards creating a little space for yourself and your practice, just take a moment to note and to tune in. How does physical body feel? And what's the condition of the mind? Just inquire. Notice. And when you've really tuned in, you've checked in through the physical body, you've checked in through the mind, softly begin to draw your awareness to your breath with the intention of just simply witnessing and experiencing the breath at the very tip of the nose. Just note the quality, note the texture of your breath, and become aware of the differences between the incoming breath and the outgoing breath. If the mind begins to wander, each time just softly bring your attention and focus back to the breath. Notice the sensation. If you're in a seated position, please do remain as you are. If you're in any other variation, gently make your way to seated, but take your time, mindful of any dizziness that may be present. Namaste mudra. If comfortable, palms lightly press in front of the chest as you take a moment to set an intention, a sankalpa, or dedication for your practice. Releasing your hands, chin to chest, and a few gentle blinks, opening of the eyes. Namaste. We'll softly raise the knees up, a cross-legged position, and raise the knees as best you can. Thighs coming close to your chest. You can have hand support behind you as you need to. Little practice, your thighs, your shins, or maybe your wrist or a forearm. Can you really lift your spine? Set the chin a little back, and if you haven't already done so, begin to put that conscious effort into your breathing. Ujjayi breathing, if you're familiar, land in the breath. Make it steady. All is well here. On your next exhale, allow your chin to drop lightly towards your chest. But just notice the reaction. How lifted your spine is. Just the neck, moving through the neck as the chin drops. Beautiful. As you inhale, think about lifting your chin towards the ceiling rather than simply dropping your head back. But note the pressure now at the back of the neck. Now we're moving into points of discomfort or pain. Beautiful. As you inhale, come back to center. Gaze straight ahead. We'll release the clasp of the hands, the knees or the thighs, and come into a cross-legged position as best you can. Any variation is welcome. The spine is lifted. If it is necessary for you, if you find it challenging to maintain a seated position, your hands can be behind you and you can work through the movement from here. We'll be slowly moving through the spine. If all is well, perhaps your hands are resting closer to your knees. Start thinking with the lumbar spine, the lower back. As you inhale, there's a slight tilt of the pelvis. There's a mild arch through the lower back. You proceed to feel and experience up through the middle back, lifting the chest a little, and slightly lifting the head, but no pressure on the neck. As you exhale, tuck the pelvis under around the lower back. Then feel the middle back. The upper back leaning slightly back into it if it feels good and release the head. As you inhale, arch through the lower back. Feel the middle back, the upper back, and lift the head. Exhale, round. Lower, middle, upper, head. Inhale, feel an arch. Exhale, round. No pressure, no force. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round, lower, middle, upper. Release the head. And be there for a moment, but just notice the response. Breathe really well. If it's very comfortable, bring your right ear to your right shoulder, but with the chin remaining down. Beautiful. And the left ear goes towards the left shoulder with the chin remaining down, so the chin is always coming close towards the collarbone. But don't fight for it. Softly bring the chin back to center. Next inhale, come back to a lifted spine. Sit as tall as you can, lifting the spine. Hand support as you need to. Feels good, take the hands out to either side. The hands are in line with the hips, fingertips or the palms grounded. Take an inhale. As you exhale, keep the spine centered. The right hand goes a little further to the right side behind, left hand over the thigh, get a little twisted to your right. Inhale, center, maybe bring the hands to the knees if very comfortable. Exhale to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to center. All is well here. I'm going to encourage you to come standing. The challenge is to come up without using hand support. If you need to use hand support, please do so. You're welcome to creatively come up in whichever way is best to do without using your hands. One of the more accessible ways, however, is sweeping your legs to one side, whichever side is calling you first and is more comfortable. Shift your weight onto your knees. Hands can be out wide if you need to. Step one foot front to the point of that entire foot is grounded heel to toe. Tuck the back toes. Think feet pushing away from each other and come up. With no foot. Whichever way is necessary coming up for you. Coming to face the long edge of your mat. Coming to Tadasana. Feet together, toes and heels to touch. Hands come to the side of the body. Take a moment to become really grounded and firm in your feet. How tall can you truly stand? Shift your weight around for a moment. Once you feel a firm connection through the feet in all four directions, awareness up to the base of pelvis, a light drawing up action which engages below the navel. This is your center of gravity. Whole body begins to become engaged. Hands are resting by the sides of the body, shoulders a little open, and the gaze front. Remembering where you look, the body follows. Gaze straight ahead. Chin a little back. Breathe. Beautiful. Now without disturbing much, keep that firmness on your feet. As you inhale, take your arms out to the side. Shoulder height fit your palm. Arm in line with the ear as best you can if comfortable. Gaze the hands, but no fight in the neck. Arms lower if you need to. Your next exhale, release out to the side. Shoulder height, put the palm down. Bottom of the breath, hands to thighs. Inhale, smoothly raise it. Flip the palm. Intention is in line with the ear, but you can be before it. Exhale, release. Can you coordinate the full movement to your breath? Inhale, smoothly raise it. And it feels good. Maintain it there for a moment. Note there's no pressure in your neck, no pressure on the shoulder. Be aware of the ribs. Are you lifting your ribs to try and get the arms in line with the ears? Sternum back. Breathe. Beautiful. If you're gazing up, bring your gaze to be straight ahead. Maintain the right arm extending, but release your left. Shoulder height, flip the palm down. Hand next to the thigh. Your sternum back, right arm as straight as you can. Next exhale, fold to your left from the waist. If this presents a challenge on your right arm or the shoulder, hand down by the side of the body. Feels good, you're in that extension. From the ankle all the way up the side of the body to the tips of the fingers, top arm is straight. Breathe. Beautiful. Next inhale, begin to raise back up. Welcome back the left arm. Flip the palms shoulder height, palms to press. As you exhale, release the right side. Down by the side. Lift the spine. Shoulder is down, sternum is back. Next exhale, fold to your right from the waist now. As you fold, share that straight lining through the hips. The straight lining through the shoulders. Maintain your gaze straight ahead. If you're looking down or side, you tend to twist. Breathe. Where do you feel it? Where is responding? Inhale smoothly back. Come all the way up. Welcome back to right. Flip the palms shoulder high. The palms to press for a brief moment, then take the hands shoulder distance apart and flip the palms to face front. Your feet are also welcome to come shoulder distance apart. Few gentle rounds of ankle stretches. As you raise up, keep your hip back. Often we'll thrust our hip front and try and use momentum. Really utilising the calf muscles. Focus on a point for balance. As you inhale, raise on a mount to the toes and keep the arms extending. As you exhale, simultaneously release the arms and release the heels. Breathe as much as you need to. If you can, coordinate. Inhale, raise the arms, raise the toes. Exhale, release. Inhale, raise the arms, feels good. Play around being on the toes. Exhale, release. No five. Inhale, where do you feel it? Exhale. Inhale, smoothly raise. Be there for a moment. The shoulders work down the back, arms straight, no fight in the ankle, no fight in the knee. Beautiful. If necessary, ground your heels if you're just playing around. One smooth step or a few steps. Feet step to 3 foot apart or so. Flip the palms to face out. As you exhale, release your arms to the sides and release your heels if they're still elevated. Smoothly releasing down. Once your hands are near your thighs, roll out of the shoulder one direction and then the other. Shoulders free. Feet about 3 foot apart or so. So you're not going full Utthita Hatha stance, not your 4 foot or wider. About 3 foot or so, shorter if you need to. Hands on the hips initially. Focus on a point in front to maintain the balance. Right toes out a little and left toes out a little. This may be your depth. If it feels good and you're familiar, right toes out a lot and the left toes out a lot. A slight tuck of the pelvis, sternum remains back, and as you exhale, you bend at the knee. Your knees are shooting out in the direction of the toes as best you can. Sternum is back and pelvis slightly tucked, so you're keeping the spine in line. You can have your hands on your hips. But if you're mindfully challenged this morning, there's no force through your balance, extend the arms out to either side. This is still good. Movement from your shoulder. We'll think move from the bicep, not just the palm flipping. Arms turned in opposite direction. Any challenge in the shoulder, have the arms lower. Still challenging. Still, if there's any pinching, come front. Keep breathing. Base of pelvic is engaged, light drawing up action. Below the navel becomes active. Slowing down the movement through the shoulder. Breathe. Beautiful. Flip the palms to fist, down even, and then release the hands to the hips if your arms were out to the side. And softly straighten the legs. Turn the feet back and towards each other, and you can step or you can walk your feet back together. Turn towards the short edge of your mat. And work towards the front edge, short edge of your mat. Be about 2 to 3 foot distances from the front, making sure you have enough room in the front to stretch your arms as the wall isn't too close. Hands around the thighs, a good bend in the knee. The intention is back bending, forward folding. If you have any challenge in the back of the body, please mindful of the depth you come in. Likewise, if there's any dizziness present, taking care of the depth, really slowing it down. We'll move with the breath. As you inhale, raise the arms, in line with the ears if you can. Keep the bend in the knees still good, tuck the pelvis slightly in a gentle back bend. As you exhale, push the hip back and work forward from the front of the hip. Lengthen the spine. Choose an appropriate depth, swing the arms and release the head if very comfortable. As you inhale, a good bend in the knee, feel and work all the way up, gentle back bending. Exhale, working front. Inhale, smoothly up. Exhale, work from the hip. Note where you feel it, never fighting for depth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep the bend in the knee. Engage through below the navel. Gentle back bend. And exhale, slow it down as you come front. Swing the arm back if it feels good and release the head. And we'll stay front, but as you inhale, release the hands. Into an effortless forward fold for a moment. If your hands come to the mat, they can rest there, but don't fight for depth. Up off the mat's beautiful work too. This is good here, and I encourage you to bring attention to your feet. Feet are at shoulder distance apart or a little wider if necessary. The knee over the ankle. So you can raise your hip up as much as you need to achieve this, then leaning back. Knee over the ankle. Your fingertips can be resting on the mat. They could be on your shins or they could be on your thighs. Leaning back to where knee is over the ankle. And then you begin to bend the knee to the eventual intention of hip in line with the knee and knee almost over the ankle. Hands can be on the shin, they can be on the thighs. If it feels good, however, hands in front of the chest, palms to press. All is well, start to bring your chest down also. But note that knee over ankle almost, maintain it at a length. And breathe really well. Just a few breaths. Just 30 seconds, you've already started. Chin draws back in a mild double chin, you've no pressure in your neck. Engage more below the navel. Lengthen the breath. Last breath. Welcome beautiful reaction to thighs, hamstrings, through the inner groin. Release the hands. Inhale, raise the hip into a little sway. Allow there to be a mild bend in the knees, hands on your shins or fingertip to the mat. Beautiful. Come to rest with a little sway. Bending the knees as much as you need to get the tips of the fingers or the palm to the mat. Shoulder distance apart. Keep the feet at shoulder distance as you walk the feet towards the back of the mat. Come into Adho Mukha Svanasana and a downward facing dog. Good distance between the hands and the feet. Fingers well spread. Torso works back. If necessary, you can ground the knees at any moment. If it feels good, you're mindfully applying your up. Spread the finger. The fingers even, all of them. Breathe. Super. Next inhale, you're just playing around with your practice. Bring your shoulder over your wrist into the plank pose for a brief moment. If this is challenging, any challenge in the lower back this morning, please ground the knees. Mindfully apply your up. Get slightly front. The chin is in a mild double chin. Super. Your next exhale, if you haven't already done so, ground your knees. Come down whichever way is necessary. Little practice, you've no fight in the lower back. Welcome the thighs. Then roll down through the belly, the chest and the chin. Untuck the toes. Feet together, toes and heels to touch. Sliding the feet together. Tops of the feet grounding. Hands down to the sides of the body, palms face up, and tuck the hands underneath the thighs. The locust pose, the half locust pose, so it's a single leg alternating movement. They want to keep the front of the hip grounded as best you can, even if that means you only raise a small distance and trying to avoid swaying or leaning to the opposite side. Lower body active, base of pelvic, below the navel. As you inhale, smoothly raise your right leg up, but thinking front of the hip is grounded or pushing against your hand. As you exhale, release. Inhale the left. Exhale, release. Inhale, right. Exhale. Inhale without jerking, no pressure. Exhale. Inhale, smoothly raise it, no strain in your neck. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, staying as centered as you can. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, smoothly releasing down. Taking the hands up from underneath the thighs. And if it's comfortable for your neck, turn your gaze to your left and ground the right cheek. Just 3 steady breaths. Notice the reaction across the lower back and the lumbar region. A long, steady breath, no force in your neck. Forehead can be grounded or it can be looking to the other side if this is challenging. Beautiful. Being as you are, if comfortable however, bring your chin or forehead back to centre and encourage your hands now to come either side of the chest. Palms grounding, fingers spread, elbows are up towards the ceiling and also working towards each other, helping shoulders to roll. Feet together, toes and heels. Keep your lower body active. As you inhale, roll the shoulder, raise head and raise the chest, small distance, but no pressure on the neck. Exhale, welcome the chin or the forehead back to ground. Inhale, smoothly raise through the upper, the middle, the lower perhaps, so you're not using the hands to push up. Exhale, can you control and feel as you release down. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, roll the shoulders, squeeze the elbows close. And be there for a moment. If you're maintaining, note that your back of your head isn't working to the upper back. You maintain that beautiful length in your neck. Chin is dropped towards the chest if necessary. Feel and breathe. Each inhale, little higher. Beautiful. Exhale, coming down. Softly, with care, pushing back. Pressurize the hands into the mat. Bend at the knees. If it's accessible for you, toes remain untucked. You sit on the heels, but you can be before that. Grounding your elbows, heel of the palms come together and you cradle your face around the chin. If this is challenging, allow your face to drop down to face the ground and you cradle around the temple or the ear. Or note that the stacking of fists or palms are also welcomed. Just a few steady breaths. See your reaction to your back bending. Beautiful. Lifting up the head lightly so you can release the hands. Then release the head. Now if this is good, mindfully apply. As you inhale, begin to roll up through your lower back and you can just allow the hands to slide back towards you. Feel your middle back, but don't fight. Also wear your body's reaction. The upper back. And then the head is going to be the last thing to lift, but take your time. Once you've risen tall, we'll come all the way onto the knees. High on your knees as best you can. Doubling over the mat if you need to, or tripling over. Your knees are as wide as your hips, if not wider, and toes in line to knees. And toes are on top, so tops of feet are grounding. We'll extend the arms out to either side. a little challenge in our coordination, and if you have any tenderness in your shoulder or your neck, please mindfully apply. Recognize the steps we're going to take to come in as far as you're comfortable. Your right palm is facing front, your left palm is down and then back. Breathe as you need to, allow the breath to flow. Raise the right arm up so it's at a slight angle out like an upward facing Y. The left arm drops down to an upside down facing Y. Then this is good, bend at the right elbow without touching the body or flaring ribs. Hand floats on top of the head, back of the head without touching or compromising the neck, through the neck or the upper back. Similarly with the left hand, it can float at the hip, lower back, middle, or maybe a little higher without touching the body. Continue to breathe as you straighten the arms into the upper and lower Ys. Come back through the center. Left palm to face front now, right palm down and back. Raise the left arm up and the right arm down. Feels good, simultaneously bend at the elbow. Without touching of the body, without dropping of the head, without flaring of the ribs. Keep breathing, extend the arms straight. Where do you feel it? Back to the center, right palm front, left palm back. Right arm up, left arm down. Keep this angle, bending at the elbow. Hovering the arms, straightening them at the upper and lower Ys, back to the center. Left palm front, right palm down and back. Smoothly left arm up, right arm down. Bending at the elbow, floating the hands away from the body if you can. What does it take? Keep breathing as you extend the arms straight. Back to center, flip the palms to face front. If it feels good, knees and feet together, tuck your toes and sitting back in the heels. Bring the arms out in front. Release the left arm for a moment, so it's the right arm that's extending. Keep the right shoulder held back and down. This feels good. Second point to focus on your alignment is the right arm remaining straight and you bring it across towards the left side of the body. Note you're not turning through the chest. It's just moving through the shoulder as it comes across the body. You can take your left hand and place on the upper right arm. If that's accessible though, perhaps you're hooking the entire left arm underneath. But note the right shoulder is still back and down. If it feels good, perhaps you can explore just a little further depth, but don't fight for it. Once you've reached your comfortable point, the right pushes against the left and the left resists pushing back against the right. The chin in a mild double chin. Then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. I feel a beautiful reaction. Keep breathing. No fight. Chin still remains in a mild double chin. The right shoulder is held back and down. And there's a little resistance between the both arms to be experienced. Super. With care. Bring the head back to center. Release the arms in front. Then release the right arm. Keep the left arm up. The shoulder is held back and down. Your left arm is working straight as you can. And it proceeds to come across the front of the body towards the right side. Hook the right arm underneath, up by the bicep if accessible. And draw the arm over a little further if you can. But the left arm remains entirely straight. A mild double chin now. And your right ear, your right shoulder. Keep the gaze straight ahead. If you look down, you'll tend to twist and you'll be no longer in a side fold of the neck. Create the length on the left side by folding to the right. A little resistance between the arms as they push against each other. Beautiful. Back to center with the chin and the gaze. Release the hands in front, onto the thighs. Raise tall on your knees. Untuck your toes if they were tucked. Sitting back into, or for the first time, come into Vidrasana. We're going to be here for a little moment. If this is challenging for you, please adopt any seated variation which is accessible where you can maintain a lifted spine. Hands to the hips. Feels good, take the hands behind, opposite wrist, form or elbow. The intention is a full rotation through the neck. If you have any challenge in the neck, please make smaller rotation. Never move into points of pain or pinching. Drop your chin towards your chest. With your chin remaining down, you're looking for your right shoulder. From this angle here, you note your body's reaction. You lift your chin up to your comfortable point, but note you're not lifting your chest. It's just a movement through head and neck. Once you've elevated up to a comfortable point, draw a circle with the chin on the ceiling as you rotate to your left. The chin then drops down past the left collarbone, coming to the base of the throat. And we reverse directions, the chin down past the left collarbone. Look for the shoulder almost. Lift the chin. Once elevated, draw a circle on the ceiling to your right. Drop the chin down past the collarbone, base of throat. And softly re-raising the head. Gaze straight ahead. Release the clasp of the arms if you're there. Take the hands front and raise tall on the hands and the knees. Coming front onto the hands and the knees, fingers well spread into Vagraswasta, set up the tiger breathing. Shoulder over the wrist, finger well spread. The knees, they were underneath the hips, so you know your thighs are vertical. Then you go wider from that point, so your wrists, your knees and your toes are a straight line. Tops of feet grounded. Once you've got your good alignment, begin to move through the hip. If you find it's challenging to have the wrist directly underneath the shoulders, have your hands front as you need to. Or you can play around with making fists. Never fight for depth. Change direction through the hip. Beautiful, and back to center. Shoulder over wrist, few gentle movements of tiger breathing. As you inhale, feel an arch, lower, middle, upper, head. Exhale, round, lower, middle, upper, head. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, around. Beautiful. Back to an easy spine. We're going to work with our shoulders a little. If you have any challenges in the shoulder or the neck, please mindfully apply. Don't fight for depth. If it feels good as you inhale, raise your right arm up. Lightly gaze to the hand. As you exhale, you're going to tread your right underneath your left. For a brief moment, bring your right wrist to sit behind the left and ground your elbow so you can be here. If this is good, you build your practice by continuing on this lining, threading the right arm through. The eventual tension is right shoulder to fingertip grounding the right side of the head, lightly resting. But if it is resting, there is no pressure on your neck. Keep the left palm lightly pressurized into the mat, the elbow to the ceiling. Breathe. Beautiful. Pressurize the left as you inhale and tread the right. Send the arm up or ground the hand immediately. As you exhale, ground the right. Changing sides, each side can be different, so please mindfully apply. Inhale the left. Exhale, thread it through. Left wrist behind the right, elbow grounding. That feels good. Continue on this lining. Grounding the left side of the head. Right palm is grounded, elbow is up. Note there's no strain or pressure on the left side of the neck to be here. Feel and breathe. Beautiful. Pressurizing the right hand now. As you inhale and tread the left, ground the hand or send it up. Exhale, ground the left. Shoulder over the wrist as best you can. Moving into a rhomboid push-up. There are muscles that sit in between the shoulder blades and the spine. It's a very subtle movement, but there are muscles that often become weak from having rounded shoulders or sitting at a desk. The intention is to keep the arms nice and straight, so checking in that the arms, the elbows don't bend to the best of your ability, and the lower back remains in just a mild arch. As you exhale, allow your chest to drop down in between your shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades come together, but you're not actively squeezing. Are your arms working straight? As you inhale, push up. As you exhale, drop down. As you inhale, push out. Just upper back movement. As you exhale, dropping down. Be there for a moment if comfortable. Note that you're not actively squeezing the shoulder blades together. Feels good, release the head. Feel and breathe. Where is responding? Beautiful. As you inhale, lightly lift the head and simultaneously push out. All is well here. If you're not already towards the front edging of your mat, scoot rather towards the front edge of your mat, still on the hands and the knees, so the short edge. Coming back into a seated position on your back, whichever way is necessary. Little practice if it's comfortable. Cross the legs over, but mindful of the knees, the ankles and the hips. Sit back, mindful of any solid objects behind you. Come onto your back. Once on your back, a little rolling side to side. Beautiful. Come to rest with the rolling. Keep the bend in the knee. Stay to Bandhasana, the bridge pose. Hands on the sides of the body, heel towards the fingertips. Feet shoulder distance apart, knee over the ankle. Chin in a mild double chin. Recognize that beautiful length maintained and created in the spine. Push the feet evenly into the mat as you inhale. Feel just your lower back elevating. Then the ribs come up. That's your middle back. Upper back feels good, but no pressure in the neck. As you exhale, feel that firmness that is maintained through your feet as you roll down through the upper, middle, lower. Inhale, smoothly raise it. Exhale, how firm are your feet in all directions as you release. Inhale, feel and raise. If it feels good, maintaining, but please do check in through your neck, your hip to lower back and your knee. There's no fight in any of these areas to maintain. You can also continue with gentle movement or take rest as you need to. Keep the neck steady. I know it can be tempting to roll the neck to look at the screen, but keep the alignment straight up to the ceiling. Breathe. If it's very comfortable, you've no strain in the neck or the shoulder, you're almost squeezing the shoulders under the back, bringing the hands together in the interlace. Straighten the arms as best you can, and the interlaced arms coming, interlaced palms and hands coming to the mat. Feel and breathe. Perhaps you can push your hip up a little higher. But firmness in the feet. No strain in the neck. Beautiful. Release the interlace if you're there. Untop your shoulders as you exhale. Feel your upper back. Then experiencing the middle back. Smoothly rolling down to the lower back. Once you're fully grounded, edge the feet together, toes and heels. Cactus arms, 90-degree arm out to either side, or straight arms if you have the space. Raise the right leg up and place the back of right thigh on top of the left. As you exhale, drop your knees to your right. Feels good for your neck, gaze to your left. The back of the left shoulder remains firmly grounded. Feel and breathe and twist. Inhale smoothly back to the center. Unraveling the legs. Raise the left leg up now. Left thigh rests on top of the right. As you exhale, knees to your left and gaze to your right. Back of right shoulder is grounded. Each exhale, get a little further twisted. And note where you feel it. Perhaps the outside of the right hip now. Working down the side of the thigh. With no pressure on the knee. Inhale, center. On the exhale, unraveling the legs. Draw the thighs in towards the chest. Feels good for the neck. Grab the legs as you exhale, head towards the knee, round through the spine. Nice tight ball. Inhale, release the head. Release the legs. Release and rest in Shavasana. End of your practice. Adjusting the body into a position that you can feel that is comfortable, held, and that it is effortless. Eyes closed and the mouth closed. And as you come to the end of your practice, it's your opportunity to absorb all of the changes that have been brought about by your practice. Welcome the stillness. And as you come to the end of your practice, note that there's nothing more required of you. There's nowhere you need to be right now. There's nothing to be done. Nobody you need to answer to. Nobody you need to please. Simply by being here is more than enough. And within this beautiful freedom, which is at the heart of your yoga nidra, your yogic sleep, set your attention free to move upon the breath. And on the inhale, perhaps the breath is moving up the front of the body. And on the exhale, it descends down the back. Inhaling up the front and exhaling down the back. On your next inhale, perhaps your breath changes direction. Inhaling up the back and exhaling down the front. Inhaling up the back, exhaling down the front. And on the next exhale, when the breath and your awareness that travels upon the breath begins to descend down the front of the body, allow it to move down as far as the heart space. And allow your awareness to take up temporary residence in the space of the heart, behind the breastbone, the center of the chest. Allow your awareness to rest here for a moment. And from the heart, allow the body to remain within stillness. But allow your awareness to slowly begin to trickle out through the whole of the body until it reaches the edges of the stillness, the borders of the body. Allowing your awareness to transcend the edges of the body and to slowly diffuse throughout the space that surrounds you. And as your awareness begins to expand and unravel, allow it to begin to move to a more engaged, a more everyday awareness. This everyday awareness begins to influence your breath, being a little fuller, a little more conscious. It awakens and it stirs the body. It stirs the body, the toes and the fingers, up into head and neck. The feet come softly back together. Extending the right arm up overhead, left hand to the belly. Fold the left knee. And once you feel steady, roll to your right. Little hand support. Push up to any seated variation. Spine is lifted as best you can. Eyes closed. Coming to the end of your practice, just take a moment to note any difference at the beginning of your practice. Rubbing your palms, creating a little heat. Hands lightly over the eyes. Extend a massage throughout the whole of the face. And come a small distance away from the eyes. And gently blink the eyes open, gaze into the palms. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I hope you had a good practice. Hope the rest of your day goes well. I look forward to connecting with you with your next practice. Thank you.